Reality is not only fact-driven, it's perception-driven. It's a fact that flying in airplanes is many times safer than riding on a train or a bus. And yet, the post-9/11 security measures at airports are many times higher than on trains or buses. Last time I took a train cross-continent, there was no security at all. Airport security measures are a nuisance to millions of people every day. Every time I fly from Europe to the U.S., I'm asked for my passport at least 8 times on the trip. And even though I have an American passport, I'm quizzed, questioned, and my snack is split open to see if there are any bombs in it. It's a fact that there are thousands of ways a terrorist could bring down a building, and preventing him from flying will not stop him. And it's also interesting to note that security measures for airport staff, from the stewardess to the luggage handler, appear to be surprisingly lax in comparison. Did the airplane cleaners all go through those numerous security checks before they entered the plane? Somehow, I doubt it. I'd wager there are numerous people who could easily plant a bomb on a plane if they really wanted to. The point is that the reality of super tight, paranoid, and costly airport security is not based on facts. It's based on the perception of facts. Authorities believe and believe that there is a threat, and that these measures will prevent that threat. Passengers accept being strip-searched because they perceive that it's necessary. But the fact is that a lot of time, money, and emotional energy are being wasted without all these measures actually preventing terrorism. Thus, to create reality for millions of people, no facts are required. I'm not saying that there should be no security at all, and that anybody should just walk onto a plane right off the street, although that's the way it will be on an enlightened planet. It's the paranoid exaggeration of security, the hassling of billions of innocent people out of fear for a few, that is somewhat problematic. On many flights to the U.S., I go through 2 baggage checks, even though 1 would be enough. What exactly are they hoping to find that was not found at the first baggage check? The amount of money this is costing on a daily basis is enormous. This loss is created by perception, not facts. The loss of the money is a fact, but it's generated by delusion. If the security and police forces were trained in intuition and face reading, they could smell and spot a suspicious person from miles away, without having to empty Granny's suitcase. Go to Google and type in what you perceive a burger to be and what it really is. You'll see pictures of what a hamburger actually looks like versus what advertisement boards for hamburgers make you think it looks like. A real burger looks nothing like the one in the ads. Reality, being created by beliefs rather than facts, happens all the time. For a recent private coaching, I visited a town where it rarely snows. A few snowflakes were falling that day, and my host showed me how people were stocking up on food as if the end of the world had arrived. They also all started driving really carefully, and all that just because a couple of flakes of snow that melted once they hit the ground. Stocking up on food and driving incredibly slowly was not necessary. These actions were not driven by facts, they were driven by perception and interpretation of the facts. Because the townspeople were not used to snow, they envisioned something different than me. Where I live, snow falls frequently, and it's thick, and we still drive around on it, even if it's piling up to body height on the side of the road. This applies to positive things too, of course. People's perception that it's Christmas time, and that this time is all about giving and coziness, creates precisely that reality. So when someone comes along and says, but the fact is the whole nativity scene of Jesus took place in January, we ignore that person because his facts are a disturbance to our positive feeling. So what can you take away from this that's useful for your life? Well, in short, you can create positive emotions and real experiences by positively distorting your perception, and you can decreate negative realities by strictly sticking to the facts. So when somebody I'm coaching tells me a negative story, I often say, stick only to the facts of what is really there, of what is really happening here and now, please. If one sticks only to the facts of the here and now, it's difficult to maintain negativity, because negativity is often based on perception and past or future events, not on here-now facts. And when a coachee tells me a positive story, I often say, "Yes, go on, tell me more, please," because I know that even if the story is not fully accurate or factual, it will create a positive, factual reality. I know quite a few men who go to the gym and feel as if they were Mike Tyson or Cristiano Ronaldo, when they actually look nothing like them. Their perception of what is going on is vastly different than the reality. But who am I to tell them they don't look like that? Their perception of being like these people will give them a positive feeling that will motivate them to keep going to the gym for more self-improvement. Most mothers believe it is absolutely wonderful and lovely to have babies. For this, they censor all the trouble they have to go through, including changing dirty diapers, being kicked in the head at night, and having to put up with constant shouting. They envision their baby as the most lovable and cute creature in the universe. If they stopped being in denial about reality, they'd be horrified. In this case, it is better to let them believe that it's all a very blissful experience. One coachee recently told me that he thinks a certain woman likes him. I could see that she clearly wasn't interested in him, but instead of telling him all the facts immediately, I went along with the story for a little because it brightened his whole mood and outlook. It made him optimistic about the day. I could have said, "You're kidding yourself," but who am I to burst his bubble? Bubble bursting would only become necessary if his delusion started producing negative results or facts. It then turned out that he was so convinced that she liked him, the woman actually started changing her views of him, and now they've started going out together. The lesson learned here is that sometimes it's better to let someone believe something if their belief is strong and produces positive results. Cynics and skeptics are only needed for negative realities. Reality is more perception-driven than fact-driven, driven by beliefs and emotions, not by what's really there. There are so many applications and uses of this knowledge, I could write several books about it. From your choice of partner, to what you purchase at a store, to why you choose one life path over another, none of this is primarily fact-driven, but emotion, belief, perception-driven. That's why I teach changing emotions and beliefs, because when those are changed, your perception changes. And when your perception changes, your factual reality changes. What you believe will come true if your belief is not too far away from your factual experience.